Hello everybody, my name is Kel and this is my first ever Pokemon Nuzlocke. Well, technically not first. For years I've always loved Nuzlockes and challenge runs in Pokemon. It would be the only thing I watched on YouTube for a while. I did a couple of runs years ago, but I never really recorded them until January when I started a Black 2 Nuzlocke, which really did not end well. 7 whole attempts, just down the drain. Anyways, Nuzlocke rules. Catch the first Pokemon on each route, nickname them, no overleveling, no items in battle, on set mode. Let's hop into Sinnoh. We start in Sand Gym Town and are immediately dragged out of the comfort of our home by a blonde boy named World Government. We meet Professor Rowan on the next route and he gives us a choice between 3 Pokemon. We obviously take Chimchar and name him Luffy. The nickname theme is really easy. Obviously World Government wants to fight, so we beat up his penguin who literally just sits there and growls at us and just lets Luffy scratch him. We then meet Rowan back in Sand Gem, he gives us our Pokedex, and Don shows us how to catch a Pokemon, and we're off. We catch a Shinx named Enel, a Bidoof named Gaimon. We definitely didn't almost wipe to one trainer Starly on the first route. Definitely not. We make it to Jubilife, beeline it to the fisherman, backtrack to Sand Gem Town, and fish up a Magikarp named Mary. We go back up, catch a Wurmple named Mushi. We make it to the Rough Pass, the Rugged Path, some rocky word. And we catch Karu the Psyduck. We then fight the World Government again, and it's really easy. No fight with him is going to be hard. We catch an Abra and name him Kaido. These names are random until I don't feel like I want them to be random anymore. We make it to Oreburgh City and catch some more Pokemon. We catch Iceberg the Geodude and Dalton the Zubat. We get everybody leveled up and evolve Luffy into Monferno. The Rock Gym is really easy when you have one singular water type. And look what we have in our back pocket. Why did I write this in the script? Karu squirts and takes out Geodude and Onix. He gets very low against Cranidos, so he switches to Luffy and he shatters the rock in 1 punch. 2 punches. He did it in 2 punches. I don't know why in the script it was 1 punch. Anyways, with the first badge obtained, we are able to evolve a bunch of our team members and then we make our way back up to Florama Town. But not without getting stalked by a bunch of people with just really bad bowl cuts and have to fight with Dawn in order to take him out. I say fight with Dawn in quotes because she kind of just sat there and just let me take care of everything myself. On our way onto Route 5, a little girl asks us to help her to save her dad from Team Galactic. So, like the pirates we are, we give her our hat and say, of course we're going to save your dad, and get right to work. We take out some grunts easily. At Valley Windworks, we catch a Shellos and name her Hancock. Well, technically it's a boy, but you know what, it's okay. Going into the Mars fight, I really wanted to use Geodude because I thought that his ground and rock type could be really good against Zubat and Purugly, but instead I get flinched, poisoned, flinched again, miss a rock throw, and then I take out the Zubat. But by that point, he's so low that we need to switch him out. We switch in Enel and chip him down with some sparks, and then we send in Luffy to Mach Punch it to death. I'd say Geodude's on thin ice, but the ice literally shatters in the next 5 seconds after this battle. He gets one shot by a Shellos on the route, not 5 seconds later. Lovely. Anywho, we catch 2 new encounters, Kami the Pachirisu and Bidoof the Nico Robin in the Eterna Forest. On our way to Eterna City, we catch a Kricketot and name him Uta. Congrats on your transition, King. Oh, Uta has a message. He says you should totally like, comment, and subscribe. Side note, I don't know who this woman is. I have never seen her a day in my life. I'm still in Alabasta and Skypiea. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Anyways, shameless plug out the way, we catch a Machop named Frankie and Chishigi the Metatite. To prep for the next gym battle, we evolve Dalton to Golbat and Mary into Gyarados, which we didn't even need the whole team for this because Dalton single-handedly wing attacks everything in his path and gets us the win. We make our way to fight Jupiter, and after Mars humiliated Geodude, I'm a little scared. The plan again was to use Geodude to Defense Curl and Magnitude because Skuntank literally couldn't touch him. But without an actual rock and ground type, we cannot take him out. I'm not looking at you. Jupiter starts with Zubat and I send in Kaido who takes out with Confusion, and out comes Big Man Skuntank. I switch to Mary to get the Intimidate off and hit a tackle. Skuntank then poison gasses me, so I get scared and switch to Gaimon. Gaimon comes in on a Night Slash, which brings it down to half health, so I go for a cut to try and do some damage, but I get brought down to 2 HP, so I switch back into Mary. Mary gets the Intimidate off. I'm still scared he's going to do too much damage to me, so I switch back to Enel and get off a couple of sparks. I switch Luffy in, he gets the kill with some Flame Wheels, and then we take the win. And nobody died. Let's give a round of applause for me. Anyways, we get the egg that Cynthia gives us in Eternity that we literally never use. Like, I'm not even joking, we do not touch this egg at all. On the way, we try to use the underground, but my totally real DS is silly, and I can't use the blow feature on it. So we get stuck in the leaves. The first time I haven't been able to use my ability to blow. Anyways, look, a new encounter. Let's name him Eyelash after
Pervert Camel. Pervert Camel. Pervert Camel.
God, I love Alabasta. Thanks to all the bad mouthing, we encounter an Onyx and name him Mr. One. At Hearthome, with no other encounters, we just jump straight into the fight with Fantina. Dalton comes in on Duskull and takes it out with 2 bites. Miss Magius comes out next, so we switch to Gaimon, who tanks a side beam but gets confused. We click Roa and it barely tickles Miss Magius. Now being stuck using this, we get 2-shot by Magical Leaf. I send in an L, and instead of Bite, I opt to use Leer instead. Oh, Miss Magius just confuses me. 1 Shadow Ball is enough to take me down to half health, so I make the switch over to Mushi, who tanks 2 side beams and gets off a side beam of his own and confuses Miss Magius, which doesn't really do anything because she immediately Shadow Balls, but we can bring Mary in and take it out with 1 bite. So we really didn't need to switch to Mushi, we just could have just sent in Gyarados, but we didn't have to have anyone die, but I digress. With that, when we move on to the mid game, we get a couple of new encounters on the way. Bon Clay the Eevee, Vivi the Ralts, Eevee Unknown, Corinna the Chansey, Miss Christmas the Lickitung. They honestly could be twins. Now in Veilstone City, we can evolve a lot of people on our team, like Enel into Luxray, Hancock into Gastrodon, and Vivi all the way into Gardevoir. I went with Gardevoir instead, even if I had a male Courier already, because I think the team needs a really strong special attacker. As if we didn't already have Alakazam, but I digress. I didn't put this in the script, but we also evolved Dalton into Crobat. Yeah, we also have Sponder the Porygon that we never use. Do we see a trend with the normal types here? We go to the game corner and get some TMs and walk into Maylene's gym, ready to give everyone a headache thanks to our walking insult magnet. Vivi fully shows off why I chose Gardevoir instead of Gallade in this gym battle, because 2 Calm Minds and a held Metronome and 1 Psychic is enough to take out every single Pokemon in Maylene's gym.
I absolve you of your sins. You have been forgiven.
Afterwards, we evolve Blanclay into Umbreon. Probably doesn't fit him that much, but he's fine. We also catch Bonnie the Giraffe Rig, who, just like every other normal type in this run, stays in the box for eternity. We make it to Pastoria City, send Vivi to stomp on World Government's team, and catch a Wooper in the Great Marsh. I always find Great Marsh or Safari Zone encounters really funny in Nuzlocke because you spend like 1,000 Pokédollars to get in, and then you just immediately step out and they're like, are you sure you want to just leave now? You didn't even do anything. And you're like, yeah, I kind of have to. It's in the rules. For Wake's team, we evolve Nico Robin and Roselia and bring Pachirisu for extra support. Against Crasher Wake, we press the electric move, which takes out the water flying type in 1 shock. Who would have guessed? Once Quagsire comes in, I switch to Bon Clay on a mud shot and hit him with a Confuse Ray. Quagsire hits itself in confusion, so I switch to Gardevoir, hoping to set up a Calm Mind. He breaks confusion and tries to Rock Tomb, but it misses. With enough setup, we are able to take it out with Magical Leaf, and then comes Floatzel. We pray that we don't get crit with Crunch. We don't, then we use the Thunderbolt, and the game just lags a little bit, but we still end up taking the win. I don't know what happened to the footage, don't ask me. We got our 5th badge and we head out. After chasing the Team Galactic Grunt out of town, yeah, I forgot about these guys, Loki. We beat him and Cynthia tells us to talk with Granny. While we connect with the elderly, we run into Cyrus and he wants to fight. Of course. So Luffy, now Infernape, punches his Weasel into submission, and Enel comes in and zaps the 2 birds out of the sky. Cyrus is gonna hate to see me coming every single day. We make our way to Candelave City, blah blah blah, Gardevoir solos the team. We do all the Iron Island stuff and get Riolu and evolve him into Lucario. Oh boy, what a cool and amazing Pokemon. I sure hope we get to keep this powerhouse on the team for a long time. Foreshadowing. For the Candelave Gym, we also bring our Toxicroak named Doublefinger, which we didn't even need because Yamato takes out the whole team with his aura. We talk with Professor Rowan and Team Galactic hit the lake with a boom, and now we have to go fight all 3 admins. God, that joke was not funny. I am so sorry for that, everybody. They were not a challenge at all, so we walk through the snow and take down Candace. On the way, we catch Kuro the Sneasel, Frankie the Snover, and Jinbei the Swinub. Yes, I know we have Frankie already. I don't know why I did that. You don't know why I did that. Let's just move on. Oh boy, and here comes Candace. I sure hope nothing bad and evil happens. Nothing bad and evil. Luffy's able to take out the Sneasel and the Pilot's Wine very easily, and then against the Frostlass, he uses Flamethrower, which brings it down to literally a sliver, and then we get brought down to half next to Psychic, so I switch into Bonclay on a Shadow Ball, we take out the Frostlass, and then comes a Bombasnow. Against the big green and white demon, we use the Confuse Ray, and it hits itself in confusion, and then we switch to Lucario to try and, take it out with a super effective move. And then it happens. I think Orsphere is gonna one-shot. It brings it down to probably 1 health, and it hits a Focus Blast. And we're done. We're cooked. We're actually cooked. Luffy can come in and just take the kill at the end, but we lost our whole Lucario to this. A whole Lucario to this thing. I don't even know what this thing is. He just killed it. I hate Candace. I hate Abomasnow. I hate Focus Blast. After a second to cry, we build a new team and prepare to fight Team Galactic. We take out Cyrus and the guy that's definitely not just Cyrus Jr. and make our way to Mount Coronet. We're bringing on a new addition in Blissey, and I'm actually very excited to use this one. I've never used a Blissey before. It seems really interesting, and it's dead. It's dead already. Anyways, we rebuild and get ready to solo Cyrus in the funniest way imaginable. We start with Luffy, who one-shots Houndoom, and then Gyarados comes in. So we bait out an Earthquake from Cyrus's Gyarados, and then the fun starts to happen, because we literally just switch back and forth between Bonclay and Gyarados, getting off Intimidates and tanking in all the attacks that his Gyarados goes for. Once we lower his attack stat low enough, we just start Dragon Dancing, and then we get brought really low with the Giga Impact, but we still stay in, take out with an Aqua Tail, and then also take out his incoming Honchkrow as well. When Weavile comes in, I get a little scared of the fake out, so I switch to Luffy, and it takes it out fast. And like always, Gardevoir comes in and takes yet another life. And just like that, Team Galactic is done. We catch Giratina, and of course we name him after the most intimidating, scary, most powerful, most dangerous killer in all of One Piece. Now we go to the final gym. We evolve Mr. 1 into Steelix and Pink into Quagsire. Vulcan shouldn't be too hard, so we start the battle immediately. Hancock can come in and take out Jolteon with a Mud Bomb and a Surf combined. We switch into Mr. 1 on Electivire, but he has literally no ground type moves, so I just whittle it down with Rock Tomb and Double Edge. And then we switch in to Mr. Pink, and he takes out with an Earthquake. He also takes out the Raichu, who hits a Focus Blast, but we're okay. And then Luxray comes in. Against Luxray, we literally just switch back into Mr. 1, he takes some damage, we switch into Bonclay, we confuse it, try to whittle it down with Feint Attack and Assurance, and then we switch into Hancock and he takes it out with a Mud Bomb and a Surf. All that said, we finally hit the league and prepare our final team. The squad is Mary, Vivi, Luffy, Kuro, Nico Robin, and Dalton. But before we can do anything, we have to fight the world government again. And once again, Vivi just sets up Calm Mind and kills everything. And I thought this thing was useless without this fairy typing, but clearly I'm wrong. We start off with Aaron of the Elite Four, who's a bug type trainer, so obviously Luffy cooks him up just a little bit. When Drapion comes out, we set up with Gyarados and we get a little too greedy and get brought down to 4 health, and we hit it with an Earthquake. Being too low, we switch into Dalton on the Vespiquen, who just sets up Defend Order and Heal Order over and over again, but we end up taking it out with a crit. And we also end up taking out Heracross in one hit as well. We bring in Luffy on the incoming Scizor, and he takes it out, and we win the battle. Against the ground type specialist Bertha, we literally just set up Dragon Dances with Mary and click Waterfall, and he takes out everything. I wish I could make this more entertaining, but that's literally it. I'm very sorry. You'll never guess what we do to Flint though. Rinse and repeat, and it just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and if it ain't Gyarados, don't use it. And continuing on the if it ain't broke, don't fix it, against Lucian, we literally just set up to +6 with Kuro and sweep his entire team. Lucian may be one of the strongest Psychic type users in Sinnoh and one of the strongest Elite Four members in Sinnoh, but does he know about Kuro's 1,000 plans? No, and therefore he lost. You know, this Elite Four has been really easy and simple for my Pokemon, and I can't wait for some tall blonde woman to come in and ruin everything for me. And then we walk in and see Cynthia, the evil blonde, the mad titan, the strongest champion, and the reason for women being bisexual. I'm very scared, so let's go in. We first use Mary against the Spiritomb and just keep clicking Waterfall until it takes out the little ghost thingy. And then Togekiss comes out. Togekiss has Shockwave, so we cannot stay in with Mary for too long, so we gotta decide who to switch to. Nico Robin is able to take in a Shockwave, but we have to switch to somebody else, so we switch to Dalton on an Air Slash. Dalton then gets hit with a really bad Shockwave, but we end up poisoning the Togekiss in retaliation. To try and solve the poison and try to keep Dalton alive, we go for a Fly, but we still end up going down. Vivi is able to set up a Calm Mind before the Toxic takes out Togekiss, and then we shoot off some Psychics against Lucario, which do bring it low, but then it takes us out with an Extreme Speed. Against Lucario, we're able to bring back in Mary, who gets up an Intimidate and a Dragon Dance, and while the Lucario misses the Stone Edge, we take it out with an Earthquake, and then in comes Garchomp. For this next part, I really want to preface that I don't know what keeps happening in my footage, but we end up taking it out with either Earthquake or Ice Fang. I don't know anymore. Now that my Nuzlocke's out and Mary has done a really good job taking out 2 Pokemon, we just let it fall and then bring in Nico Robin. She's able to gig off a Giga Drain, but it brings my Nuzlocke to a sliver, and then we get hit with an Ice Beam. We go for another Giga Drain, brings us down to half HP, and then another, and then we get taken out with a Miracle. When we bring out Kuro, he goes for a couple of Swords Dances to get his attack up, and then we start clicking Night Slashes. And then lastly, we have Roserade, the last Pokemon we have to fight. I'm very nervous. I don't know if anything's gonna kill. I click Night Slash, we wait, we pray to God, and it ends up killing. We end up winning the entire run thanks to Kuro. Does this mean we win the run? Sure. But this also means that Kuro is going to in fact come back in One Piece and enact his 100 plans to find the One Piece and be the greatest pirate of all time. Calling it right now, whatever date it is, 2025. But no, with that is my first ever Nuzlocke completed. I'm gonna be honest, this was a lot of work. It took me months to even finish a game because I just kept losing a lot and I just kept getting demoralized. But this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed a lot of it. I enjoyed using the Pokemon that I did. I want to start doing more challenge runs, type runs, or only certain Pokemon, or just one Pokemon type of runs. I don't know when I'm gonna do that. If you guys have any suggestions for the next game I play, please don't say Black and White 2. I need a year break from that game, please. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for staying around. I love you all so much. My name is Kel Cosplays to be exact. I will see y'all next time. Bye bye.